I need to confess something. I'm part of the problem I'm about to analyze. I'm a digital nomad living in Cambodia. I pay rent that's affordable to me, but increasingly unaffordable to locals. And for months, I didn't see it. Not because I'm blind, because of observer effect. Let me explain what's happening. Across Southeast Asia, housing costs are exploding. Bali, Chiang Mai, Ho Chi Minh City, Siem Reap where I live. Same story everywhere. In Bali, rental costs increased 100% in 3 years. Locals being priced out of neighborhoods they've lived in for generations. Similar patterns in every digital nomad hotspot. 3 groups observe this situation. All see different reality. Digital nomads like me observe rent still cheap compared to London or San Francisco. I pay $400 monthly for what costs $2,000 in the UK. Quality of life is high. Weather is good. Food is affordable. Internet works. I can work remotely and live well. This observation is accurate. The data supports it. $400 is cheap compared to London. What am I filtering out? I filter out what $400 means to a local Cambodian. Average wage here is $300 monthly. My cheap rent exceeds their entire monthly income. I observe my rent relative to London. I don't observe their rent relative to local wages. Both are real. I only see one. Observer effect in action. Local residents observe housing costs doubling in 3 years. Priced out of their own neighborhoods. Landlords prefer foreign tenants who pay more and don't complain. Cultural displacement accelerating. In Siem Reap, locals are moving to outskirts because they can't afford city center anymore. Areas that cost $150 monthly 3 years ago now cost $350. For someone earning $300 monthly, this is catastrophic. This observation is accurate. The displacement is real. What are they filtering out? They filter out economic benefits. Digital nomads bring foreign currency, spend money at local businesses, create jobs in hospitality and services, pay higher rents that landlords use to improve properties. They observe displacement. They don't observe economic circulation. Both are real. They only see one. Observer effect in action. Governments observe tax revenue from digital nomad visas, foreign currency inflow, international profile boost, economic activity increasing. 50 countries now offer digital nomad visas specifically to attract remote workers. Thailand's program alone brought millions in visa fees plus spending. Vietnam considering similar programs. Cambodia benefits from nomad presence without formal visa program. This observation is accurate. The economic data supports it. What are they filtering out? Long-term housing crisis building, social tension increasing, resentment growing, protests starting in Bali, Lisbon, Barcelona, local populations pushed out while foreigners move in. They observe GDP growth. They don't observe social fracture. Both are real. They only see one. Observer effect in action. This is Schrödinger's housing crisis. Multiple realities coexist simultaneously. Reality A. Digital nomads finding affordable quality of life. Reality B. Locals being displaced from their own cities. Reality C. Governments seeing economic growth. All 3 are true, all happening at the same time. But observer effect means each group collapses the wave function into single reality. Their observation pattern determines what they see, which determines what they do. Nomads observe good value, continue moving to these locations, increase demand, drive prices higher, create the displacement they don't observe. Locals observe displacement, resent foreign presence, protest and backlash, create the conflict nomads don't expect, reduce the economic benefits governments count on. Governments observe revenue, create more nomad visas, attract more foreigners, accelerate the housing pressure, worsen the social tension. Each group's observation pattern creates the outcome the other groups experience but don't see coming. Self-fulfilling prophecy, scaling through incomplete observation. 1948. Observation patterns create behaviors that generate outcomes that confirm the original observation. Confirmation bias compounds it. Nomads seek information about cheap living. Locals seek information about displacement. Governments seek GDP data. Each finds what they're looking for. Each ignores contradicting information. Negativity bias explains local response. Human brains evolved to detect threats. Locals feel displacement viscerally. Economic benefits feel abstract. Brain amplifies the threat, minimizes the benefit. For 6 months living here, I observed affordable rent, good life, freedom, opportunity. I filtered out conversations with Cambodian friends struggling to find housing, stories about landlords evicting locals for foreign tenants, rising resentment in the community. Not because I'm uncaring, because observer effect. I was observing data relevant to my situation, not observing data relevant to theirs. Then a Khmer friend told me directly, "You don't see what you're part of." That shifted my observation. Suddenly I noticed patterns I'd filtered out. The gentrification, the displacement, the inflation. The data was always there. My observation pattern had excluded it. I'm analyzing observer effect while being inside the observation pattern. Becoming aware doesn't solve it. I still pay rent locals can't afford. I still contribute to demand that drives prices higher. Self-awareness doesn't erase the effect, but incomplete observation prevents even discussing solutions. If nomads only observe cheap living, they'll resist any change. If locals only observe displacement, they'll oppose all foreign presence. If governments only observe revenue, they'll ignore building crisis. Fuller observation doesn't guarantee solutions, but incomplete observation guarantees conflict. What observation patterns are you locked into? In your business decisions, what are you observing constantly that shapes what you perceive as possible? What are you filtering out that others observe clearly? Not to shame anyone, not to virtue signal, to recognize observer effect shapes behavior. Behavior creates outcomes. Outcomes affect people. Your attention doesn't just inform your reality, it creates effects you might not be observing. I'm a digital nomad examining the observer effect I'm inside. What patterns are you inside without observing?